Beatallica is the world's first live mashup, or bash-up, band. Join Mark Lewis and R.O.A. for an exclusive interview. Real rock and roll news. From the legends of rock, you found rockonamerica.live. We're bringing rock and roll to America and beyond. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe.
In the broad and varied landscape of music, two bands rise above the rest: the Beatles and Metallica. Imagine a melding of these musical powerhouses. Welcome Beatallica, an innovative bash-up band, skillfully intertwining Beatles melodies with Metallica's fiery energy. Each track is a masterful mixture of titles from both bands, like The Thing That Should Not Let It Be, a fusion of Beatles' Let It Be and Metallica's The Thing That Should Not Be. The lyrics, a lively combination of the two songs, frequently contain clever nods to Metallica and heavy metal culture. Despite the satirical nature, Beatallica has been praised by Metallica's Grg Hammetson, who has publicly applauded their work. Beatallica's musical brilliance defies conventional boundaries, creating original pieces that mix humor, critique, and reverence for their musical progenitors. So, get ready America and beyond, and stay tuned for a special interview with Beatallica.
This is Mark with Rock of America, and today I am interviewing two of the members of Beatallica. If you don't know Beatallica, if you remember Led Zeppelin, it said all this with Led Zeppelin and combined the idea of the two. This is the idea of if Metallica got a wild hair and decided to take their music and Beatles music and combine the two. And it's amazing because it sounds exactly like Metallica to the point the vocals are basically 100% dead on. I have Jaymz Lennfield, and I have Grg. How are you guys doing today?
Great. All right. You're saying it sounds 100%, then am I going to get graded on this test?
No, you're not.
Anything less than 100%, you fail.
Yes, but I will give you the cheat sheet for your pass. Anyway, what were you guys' musical influences growing up? I'm assuming it's Beatles and Metallica part of it, but what else were you guys influenced musically by growing up?
Yeah, this is Grg. I mean, for me, probably the earliest musical memory I would have would have to be the Beatles, I would think. Okay. Just my parents and my older brother. But then just on my own thing, you know, hard rock, Hendrix and that stuff, and then Slayer came along, I got introduced to that, and I was hooked on that, and Metallica, and metal, and all that stuff. But we listen to all kinds of music stuff, but those are the core ones, hard rock and the early metal stuff. So. Yeah, as far as for me, James, my first band was really Kiss, and now just being in a band like Beatallica, having like this alter ego kind of goes along with that whole Kiss thing, But from the Kiss thing, it went to the whole new wave of British heavy metal. Obviously, Metallica has a lot of the roots in that, so it lends itself to that. But even still, a lot of that Beatles stuff. I mean, I remember getting the White Album for Christmas as a child, because I asked my mom for it. Not the Slayer album, but the White Album. You know what I mean? So it all kind of spawns. A lot of the music really spawns from the White Album because there's just everything on it: rock and folk and fledglings of heavy metal and avant-garde and vaudeville. You can find it all on that one album. True. So if you're looking for something to get a start from, that's really the way to go.
There you go. Who or what influenced you guys to the point that you decided this is what you wanted to do, particularly the Metallica?
As far as the music in general, or
music in general, but also the band Metallica itself and bringing those together.
Yeah, for me, it's just my earliest memories. I always wanted to play guitar, so that's always been the case. And then fast forward, we'll take over the Metallica. Yeah, well, I mean, just as far as a personal note, I mean, we've known Grg, or at least I've known Grg, since we both started playing in bands when we were kids. You're talking like the late 80s or something. We used to both play in crossover metal punk bands that were from the same Milwaukee.
I was going to say you guys were Midwest from Detroit, so we were like, no.
Yeah. So I mean, we had known each other for quite a long time, and when Beatallica needed a guitar player, Grg was right at the top of the list. Not just because I knew that he was into the Beatles thing, but I knew that he had experience in playing that genre of the way we wanted to present it. But then also his experience in world music. Okay. I mean, the Beatles used a lot of that, and with the things that we're starting to do with the Masterful Mystery Tour and getting into certain sounds and all that sort of thing. So, all the musicians of Beatallica are in it for a reason, not only because of things they like, but because of things they have experience with.
Well, the name Beatallica, we'll get into that now. The name Beatallica in itself was explanatory because you couldn't do it the other way around.
Yeah, exactly.
That would work.
But Ringo Larz, who actually drinks meat, doesn't actually only eat it, he drinks it, he would love to be in the meat.
So, but that would be too close to the wrong.
Yeah, exactly.
So Beatallica works, but what was the idea for the concept to actually do this? And like I said, and you guys didn't do it the other way where it could have been the Beatles doing Metallica.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that would have gone as well. But so what was the idea to put together a band that basically would be like Lars and James and Kurt and everybody going, we've just lost our minds, now what can we do different? Now we'll combine our music with the Beatles. What inspired you guys to do that?
When you kind of say that, we just lost our minds, that you're not so far from the truth, because really the first ideas became known from an April Fool's Day show that we did in Milwaukee from this festival that we do called Spoof Fest. It's been going on for 18 years now, and we still do it. I do the booking for it. And so we decided to do the works of Metallica, not Beatallica, for Spoof Fest. And so when we were doing that show, we said, all right, it's April Fool's Day, let's take it up a notch. What would Metallica do for an April Fool's joke? So we started making these MP3s, passed them out at the show, just, for shits and giggles or whatever. And we thought nothing of it until someone actually put it on the internet, and he was in control of an internet radio program. Didn't tell us that he put it on the internet. 6 months later, I get a call from this guy I don't know saying, I want to talk to you about your band. And I said, I'm not in a band, dude. And he said, you are now, and I'll be Beatallica. So he named the project. We didn't name the project. And we started making more songs because he said, man, I'm getting hits all over this website I created. You need to do something about that.
Is he also in the band?
He was our first webmaster. And now...
so the webmaster just had the idea that the band should come together.
Yeah.
But he wasn't the webmaster for Beatallica, he just was a fan, right?
Well, initially, we made him a webmaster.
The whole thing was funny about it.
Because we didn't have a webmaster, we didn't know about it.
The guy was just a fan in the club, he saw it happen, and they were passing out CDs that had a few tracks, and he got the CD and made a website. So he was just a fan, and then he started it and he named the group. Then we made him a webmaster after he started this whole silliness.
Now, how long ago was that?
Well, that would have been like 2001, so we really were only an MP3 band for about 3.5 years.
And then when did it take physical form?
We decided after we did our second batch of MP3s, because it was really just me and our former guitar player, the 2 people did all the stuff. And we said, just in case, we should maybe look for a drummer and a bass player. Well, that just in case occurred 2.5 months later, and we started getting thrown out to festivals in Texas. And then a couple months later, Europe writes me, hey, you want to do a headlining tour over here in Europe? We're not even signed, keep in mind.
It's not even a band.
Yeah. And so, yeah, we do.
I heard you guys were really surprised, because, I'm sure you guys saw all sorts of bands who they got record contracts and that blew everybody's knocking on the door.
Yeah. It was just a weird thing. It's like, we always kind of seem to do things backwards in this band. Touring without being signed, doing headlining tours without being signed, getting into a lot of trouble without wanting to, and even having a CD out, It was all the things that have really happened with this band have either been grassroots or ass backwards.
I'll make a comment about my magazine later because it's been the same thing.
All right.
That's the record. Cool. But, so what was the first album that you guys did as a band, and what was the attitude of the last 2 guys you got in the band that did this?
Well, the first CD that we did was called Sergeant Hetfield's Motor Breath Pub Band.
Okay, this is a great album, and I've heard a couple of things that Jen, the PR person, fixed or something, and there were a couple albums you can hear in there burn. It's just amazing.
Right on. Yeah, that's on account of our engineer, Flemball Rap Martin, because he also has a mashup name as well. Sonny Rasmussen and George Martin. Yeah. So he really has a lot of stake in the project as well. And then once we did that, put that out, then we did an EP called All You Need Is Blood.
Right.
And that is
sort of an ambitious project because it was recorded in 14 different languages. And all the translations were sent in by fans around the world. So whatever I was saying, it was up to them. However they gave them to me, that's how we sang them. Because it's a very interactive sort of project.
Right, I saw that.
And all the mixes are different.
Yeah.
Different guitar solos, different endings, well, let alone different lyrics.
Right.
And then once we hit Masterful Mystery Tour, that's when Grg Drive, the third version. Grg Drive. You can tell a little bit about the Masterful thing if you want.
Yeah, so they call it, the guitar player played on the Hetfield record. He didn't want to tour anymore, so they called me to tour. And they were just making the Masterful Mystery Tour record, so I got in on it at the end and got to put in a bunch of guitar solos and some guitar stuff, and got to pull out my sitar and lay some sitar tracks as well. And that's where I entered into the fray.
You guys also have a Christmas ring out too. How did that come about?
Yeah, that was actually from requests on the label part. You know, they said, hey, I know that McCartney and Lennon, they have these Christmas tunes. You want to do something with them? And so we did this limited edition thing called the Winter Plunder Band.
Yeah.
Okay, you can't get it in stores. You can only get it at gigs. You can get it on our site. But we only pressed like under 500 of them. So that's it. So, I mean, if you're going to get it, you really need to come out and see it. Yeah. But besides that, on that EP, there are the very first two Beatallica original songs.
Okay.
One's a holiday song called Holiday for Holiday.
Right.
The other one is a tune called Heretic. And it really started to formulate this beginning of, would Beatallica ever put an original song on a full-length CD? You know, because you have to remember that between the four people in Beatallica, we probably have about 90-plus years of songwriting experience.
Now, what would an original Beatallica song be like? Would it be taking influences from both bands and sounds from both bands, or what would it be? Yeah, like you can just give a little tidbit and let people hang it. Like, give a little.
It definitely uses both. I mean, we lean more towards the heavier edge rather than the Beatles edge. But the two songs are kind of different. The Holiday for Holiday is more of a happy-go-lucky with background vocals and stuff, and then the Heretic is just more straight-up heavy. It's a heavy song. So,
what have you ever heard from either Paul McCartney or Ringo Starr or any of the members of Metallica, current or former?
Yeah, I mean, the Beatles know. They obviously know who we are and what we're doing.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, they have the eye in the sky.
Yeah, what is the reaction that you've heard? Do you have a sense of humor about it?
Yeah. I mean, you got to remember, too, I mean, like, George Harrison, he was involved in that whole Monty Python thing after he got out of the Beatles. So obviously he has a stake in comedy.
Yeah.
And Ringo does, too, you know, I mean, if they have something to say about it, they let us know.
Yeah. What about Metallica? I mean, because that's still the direct.
They love it. They love it. And Larz came to our defense for this court case. I have to really get into that. But in the end, he's just like, whatever you guys want to use, you know, just we support you guys. But we gotta call them up and let them know what's going on, and they clear things and whatnot. But they're totally supportive. So.
But is anybody real? I'm assuming that has it been just one person, more than one person, without getting the legal stuff, has raised a little thing about this? Because I mean, you guys are not really ripping anything off. I mean, you guys are it's really like kind of like an honorary tribute to them. Yeah,
I mean, we like to think there's no amount of slander or libel in it. I mean, because I'm the lyricist.
Let me phrase it this way. It's not like you guys are going to portray yourselves as Beatles or Metallica and trying to rip off
people. You know what though? We did a live interview on Eddie Trunk, and this chick called in and was certain that we were Metallica and that we were putting on this huge ruse to everybody. And she called in, she was so pissed. She's like, why are you guys hiding behind this? Just tell us who you are. And like, we are telling you who we are. She could not believe that we weren't Metallica.
But you know what I'm saying, though? I mean, you guys are not trying to be Metallica.
Right.
So that's what I don't understand. Because, I mean, like, let's take a good case of the parody guy. We're going into this. And if you want to, he rips off everybody, and he does all sorts of stuff, like Michael Jackson's on Bad on Fat. Yeah. And and that is blatant. But, you know, he's not doing it to say he's Michael Jackson. You guys are not saying there's Beatles and Metallica. So it just amazes me that anybody would have a problem.
You know, I think sometimes, you know, especially in this business, it's not
It's not what you do, it's who you know.
Is there more people on the industry side of it without going any further they have a problem with it? Is that kind of where
Yeah, but I mean, you know, you got to remember that people own songs. Songs are property.
Right.
Like your house is a piece of property. Your guitar is a piece of
So
property.
let me guess.
Someone goes over to your house and craps in your tub without you wanting them to do it.
Yeah.
Well, there's a problem.
That's kind of where, without going any further, we'll drop it.
Yeah, you know, and I understand that. I really, really do.
We have no problem with
You know, we've never taken offense, and the way that we kind of look at it is like, look, we're all adults here. It's up to us to prove that we're adults and we can handle our business, and we're not going to wreck whatever sort of significance that a piece of artwork, that song, may have. Some people may look at it differently. I understand that.
Have you ever had any other experiences like with the Eddie Trunk thing where people have actually like tried to chase you guys down or find you because they thought you were Metallica or anything? They got what alternate they got faking it for just that one check.
I mean,
not currently. I don't know. Maybe for you in the early days. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, we've had.
I think actually, you know, I think that because the band was an MP3 and interview band, once it started playing live, people could clearly see that, that it wasn't any member of Metallica.
Yeah.
You know,
Wait a second, but that one's touring Australia right now.
So no, there hasn't been really any.
Yeah, and you know, we put out our first publicity photos when we put out the MP3s. You know, of me and our other former guitar player. They can obviously see.
Are those the pictures with you guys in like the Sgt. Pepper's uniform?
No, even before that.
Okay,
we had those like very much punk rock sort of hidden shots. You know, their faces hidden.
Because I've had people ask me left and right, knowing that I was getting ready to do this and cover you guys and I did the interview. And I'm trying to explain this, right? It's like, so it's like I explained earlier, you know, when I first mentioned what I thought it was, you know, not to be redundant about it. And I'm like, let me give you an example of how much this looks like this. Imagine early Metallica dressed like Sgt. Pepper.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we have a number of costumes, you know, with more to come, you know. I mean, with the Masterful Mystery Tour CD being out and us playing behind it, I mean, that stuff's direct from India. What the things that we're wearing.
Okay. We were kind of just poking fun at when the Beatles went to India, so we wear Indian type clothing, you know, without me getting into it further, you have to come see the show.
Very colorful.
It's hilarious.
What's the best memory that you guys have had, and what's also the most insane moment that you guys have had when doing this?
Well, for me, I'll start with meeting Metallica in Paris while our tours were intersecting, and just getting to hang with those, just the two of us, the two bands, and we shot the shit. We hung out for a half hour. It was just us two after one of their shows at, you know, the Berkeley Stadium, which is, you know, 30,000 people or something. And it was just us, our two bands, hanging out, and they loved it. They were good guys. I gave Grg a pick of mine and said, you better use this pick next gig there, Grg. And he was laughing and put it in his pocket, and he loved it, you know. So that was one of my great memories.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say as far as a live thing, one of the best shows that I think we ever did, we did a festival in Busan, South Korea.
Okay.
And it was supposed to be dry, but it ended up being a monsoon, right? We're playing outside on the beach. This beach has now turned into like this sea of water and clay, and it's pouring raining and lightning and stuff. And we're playing in this bar that's covered, and all these bombs and fireworks are going off stuff, and people are freaking out. It was awesome. It was like all-night rock party, dude. It was great. And the people in Korea were awesome. We had the sweetest volunteers. It was really just an enjoyable experience as far as the live, huge date.
What would be the most insane Final Tap moment? Every band has one of those. I've even had them in interviews, literally. So what would be the one that you could share around the craziest Final Tap moment? Which is crazier than
God, the craziest. Well, we did a show one time in Osnabrück, Germany, where there was literally a hole in the roof that was like, you know, like a 12 by 14 empty hole in the roof. And it's about 38 degrees outside. So it was like an open air stadium. You know what I mean? But not supposed to be, you know. And there's broken glass everywhere. They're not bothering to get it fixed, obviously, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, not a good moment, you know. Just not good.
Go ahead and plug everything that you guys have, websites, Facebook, MySpace, Twitter if you have it, and then you guys plug everything.
Beatallica.org, Twitter, all that, Facebook, MySpace, all under Beatallica, you know, I have that stuff to Beatallica. Also, we started a campaign with Kickstarter, where we're going to release the first 2 records on vinyl with the help of our fans, where they can come in and donate $10, $20 for trying to just raise money. And then the fans will get, you know, signed pictures of us or a phone call, or you can like $5,000 will come to your house and play, wherever that is in the continental U.S. So, you know, that's a really cool thing that we're starting. We have 40 days to do that. I don't know when this interview's coming out, but it's
coming out tonight.
Oh, cool. Awesome. So then go to Kickstarter.com.
And what's the date that they have the deadline by?
December 20th.
Okay.
The deadline. And then, but there's really cool stuff on there that we're, you know, not to mention.
Is that on Beatallica.org or is that on?
Yeah, you can find links to all that stuff. But go to Kickstarter and type in Beatallica.
No, what is Kickstarter? Is it Kickstarter.com?
Yeah, Kickstarter.com. And then whatever money you want to pledge, it's cool. You know, we'll put your name on the album. You know, you can pledge $75 to put your picture on the cover. You know, a certain amount of money we'll lay tracks down with your band. You know, and so there's all kinds of things that just go there and check out. So that's what's happening now.
2 final things really quick to wrap up. And we're doing a good time by the way, so 2 final things to wrap up. On each album that you guys have done, let's say for each of you guys, what's favorite song that you have on there? Why? If you had to pick one that you, or maybe it's not the favorite all the time, but maybe tonight it's the favorite. What's the favorite for you guys on each of the albums?
You know,
and let's start with the new and Masterful Mystery.
Yeah, on the Masterful one, you know, I mean, Fuel on the Hill always sticks out. I think Hero of the Day Tripper sticks out because I think they're the 2 best mashups. But as far as us trying to break into new ground, I really like Tomorrow Never Comes, which is the last song on the disc. And you know what? We wrote that one in the studio because Death Magnetic had just come out, and we begged our label to get clearance on that song, and they just got it in under the wire. So we actually wrote the song in the studio, and we didn't even know if we had clearance on it. And we've never, ever rehearsed it, and I've never played it live. So
are you playing it live tonight?
Nope.
Okay.
The day that we play that one live is going to be a good moment, but
are you guys still waiting on clearance to do that, or?
No, on the live stuff you don't need to get a clearance on. But I just always have there's something that sticks in my brain about that song that I really like a lot.
Yeah, and for me it'd be Battery on Magical, because that's my first time I track with the band, and I just love the song. It's great.
What about Sgt. Hatfield's Motor Breath Above Dam?
You know, I mean, Cthulhu is considered to be one of the better mashups, you know, and the way that was kind of formulated in the studio, that was like, Flemball, the first time he heard of you're trying to do that, it was like taking an ice pick to the temple, you know what I mean? He's like trying to, like, okay, now we're doing what? You know, so that was always good, fun. You know, and if you just wanted to like let it out, and Justice for All My Loving is always good. Yeah. That's just like, you know, I think it kind of clocks in at like 222 beats a minute. You just kind of get the job done, and like, let's just go do it. So that's pretty good.
And for you, Drew?
For the Hetfield Pub Band, I love it. Song while drinking, I'm from Milwaukee.
Yeah, I was going to say, look at it from from Milwaukee, you know what I mean?
And we're gonna wrap this up, and I want to say thank you guys first of all for doing it.
Thank you.
Take 2, 3, 4. What I like to do at the end of the thing, after we plug everything in that, is take a couple, 3, 4, 5 minutes, however long and short you want to do this, and say anything you want to guys in the band. You want to say hi to family, friends. This is the time I like to leave for the artist. Is whatever you guys want to say. Please go ahead and go. And introduce yourself to them.
It's the third from Beatallica. And to get this tonight, we're playing tomorrow at the Key Club. Big show at Steel Panther, so down in Hollywood. So if you guys hear this, come on down and check it out.
And if you want to plug the rest of the tour while you're doing this,
we're going to Portland after that. Then we'll be at Seattle, and then we're going back home, crossing over, doing Billings, Montana, Fargo, some other stuff in between, Minneapolis, and yeah. So, and then we'll see you on the next tour. We're off to Europe next year. So.
Yep, and even in December we're going to be doing some of the spot dates from the Midwest. So we'll do hometown date Milwaukee, hitting Ohio, Pittsburgh. Beginning part of next year, looking like some other Midwestern dates, hopefully Chicago, Kansas City. Iowa, and Dayton there.
And what would you like to say to everybody, James?
We're going to be home on Thanksgiving Day, sometime, from what I'm told. So it'll be good to catch up with family. My beard will be about 4 weeks old by then, so they're going to have to put up with it. If they can put up with me, I can definitely put up with hanging with them, so that'd be great.
Yeah, and if you come to see the show, come and talk to us. We're all happy to talk to anybody and hang out and whatnot. So,
Are you guys one last thing? Are you guys accessible through like Facebook and all that stuff?
absolutely. We're all on the forum as well. Sign up on the forum at Beatallica.org. Sign up on the forum, and everybody talks to everybody on that.
And you can always sign up on our email list, and that goes through our website. But the email is Beatallica@sbcglobal.net, and we are very responsive on emails and Facebook and Twittering and forums and ad gigs. We are definitely not standoffish because we've done things like the Kickstarter program. We want you to be involved. So all you need is Blood EP. We want you to be involved. This is a communal project and an educational project almost. We're doing this together. So come join us and have fun.
And I want to say thank you guys very